Call the meeting to order. Matter of business is our normal sync meeting, but also the reversal of funds into Clark County for the ARPA. So, do we have an amount that we're sending back?
Who are we sending it back to?
So, the issue was, come to find out, them transferring all those funds to us so it'll make it easier in the future to pay.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't done properly. So basically, we're returning those funds back to the county in our ARPA account. And so as we need them, we'll go back through that process.
Okay.
And give them an invoice, and then they'll prove it, and then we'll pay it.
Okay.
So that's the bottom line.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of putting money back.
Okay.
And then we'll get it back, but we've got to get it back in the cadence that we're actually spending it.
Okay.
Not the lump sum they gave us to spend. And the other thing that I didn't realize with that process that Brenda got from them, I don't know if there's a breakdown of the county or how the communication would have, but basically, we have to provide invoice. They can't just say, okay, you've got a contract and it's what you pay.
Okay.
But,
Now, everything has to have an invoice with it. It has to be completed work.
so that's what we have to do. So we'll need to make a motion to that amount, and then we can approve those the reversal of funds.
Okay.
You can make the motion.
I make a motion that we
Reverse the funds.
reverse the funds of $370,338.91 to
County
Clark County
in our ARPA funds.
in our ARPA funds.
Yep.
I will second that motion. It's called board business. I'll call for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Motion carries. Return that fund.
Okay.
So that is done. Anything, I haven't updated the sync documents. We can roll through that quickly. Our online billing, it looks like it's going to be late first quarter.
Yeah, which they're already in our system updating everything. So they're working, and we think it might move a little bit faster just because we're a smaller town, but we'll see.
Already one monies.
Working with LMH, and we're working on the documentation and working back and forth with River Hills to get that going.
Starlight Sewer, where we're at on that. Spoke with Pierce again yesterday. He's going to send an email out. There's going to be a walkthrough soon, and it wasn't soon, don't know. All the paving should be completed from shoulders and all that project. Dan Christiani's group should be here early next week to fix Highway 60. And then that punch list that they get from PAF, they'll be buttoning that up and making sure that they've taken care of all the property surrounding. That'll be taken care of. And then the attorneys have yet to get back with me on where we stand with the extension of that contract, whether we can rescind that or however. So I'm still waiting on Matt and Tyler to respond on that. So right now we're looking like we're coming to an end of the first phase. And I guess we'll know more in the next few days about the punch list and the timeline and things like that. Sewer rates review, we've done that. We've got to get back to that once we get some of these other things behind us. GoSOIN grant goes with the building. Anything new on that grant?
Now, I did receive the documentation from our anonymous donor, so we should have the check, the $100,000 by the 15th.
Cool.
And I'm already working with Jill on what the next steps are, but we know that we have a three-person committee, which is Steve, Rick, and David Reckman's joining.
Steve being me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
So I'll work with you guys on all that.
All right. Sounds good, because that was the first thing Jill said. We need to set that committee. We need to start to set that in order. Okay.
Yeah, I talked to her the other day at the RDA meeting, and so she's getting me the next steps. So.
Fantastic. Placemaking studio and the arts grant?
We have that design, so we just wait until spring, and then we can apply for some arts grants and get that moving forward because they wouldn't be able to paint or design anything on a building in the winter. So
Makes sense. The annexation conversation. So we completed all of our documentation for the school property.
school property, Muddy Forks. I'm still waiting on Muddy Fork, and then the joint property over there, and that'll be going through the meeting December 10th or December 9th.
Okay. So we'll have that too. Well, that'll be the first step in the approval, right?
Yeah, first step.
All right, so it's no parking signs along Haywood. That's still up with the park board, right?
Yeah, but the speed limit signs are up.
I got on here Gates access, but it's cable access. That's still pending.
Yeah, Brian Everidge is getting all that processed. The park board's taking care of it.
One of the things that I talked with Brian about on the side, since our crew is no longer mowing and may have some time, if there's things the park board would like to see from our internal labor, some things like putting up a cable, I'm assuming they can do that. One of the other things is some of the parking bollards, the stobs are missing, some are broken, some of that thing. I said, Brian, hey, if there's some things like that that you guys can see that maybe our guys can do, bring that back to us. And that was a sidebar conversation I had with him. So I'm hoping that maybe some of these little maintenance tasks. I know Chris said they were winterizing concession stand a couple weeks ago. I guess week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So some of those things I want to make sure if we can transfer off the volunteer base into our paid base. Since I know that they have a little more time on their hand, they're not mowing so much. So I just make that statement and I'll leave that in the hands of our park board president to help lead that effort if they come up with anything. But I think it's a time that we can use our internal labor for some of that. We don't know about I&I. We still don't have anything back from JTL. Nothing's come back yet. I don't know why that's struggled on so long. Of course, then we can look at funding to get that done. Not sure the status of the foul ball management plan at ball fields. I've never heard anything.
I think they've decided to hold off on it and not do anything because if they're building the softball field over there, then we won't have those issues.
Yeah. Okay. Shade sales for the amphitheater, was that discussed with the park board?
Yes, it was, but they were discussing, I guess, where it came from and everything. They didn't know that they had approved to go forward with one.
Well, they're part of the discussion. So we all looked at that collectively as a town council and basically the parks board, and that's been in the Friends conversation as well. So but ultimately I want them to take the lead. Is that something we want to do? I know it's a pretty significant.
They said it was very costly, and they thought maybe trees would just be better. So
trees would be better long term. So no action on that.
Nope.
Town hall parking lot is all complete. The striping, it looks nice. The aggravation in the process. No parking signs are completed for snow removal.
Yes, Joey said that we might add a few more, but he was looking at it.
Well, and then we'll take guidance from Joey on what that number should be to make sure we significantly get that communication out. We're done with the sewer repair. Nope. Between Fort Business Park and that building. Check these things off. The abandoned trailer. We need clarity on where we're at with that as a town council, how we're sitting with that, and if that's getting Matt involved, because that property was sold as a tax lien against it, but that doesn't change ownership for 1 year. So
right, so that's something we were going to ask Matt at work session.
Okay. Main Street Children at Play sign, is all those done?
That's what I've heard.
I've seen some of them. Oak trees. So we still working on planting?
Yeah, still working with them on that.
Okay. Ready for corrosion issue?
I guess we need to contact the NR on that.
Okay. Who's leading that?
Well, I can contact the NR.
erosion issues, storm drain. We really had to give us that $3,800 quote.
Right, which was a misunderstanding. It looked like it was that quote, but it's actually the invoice for both the Daisy Hill where they fixed that, and then they did something else. There was two things, but I talked to him and he didn't think that it would cost $3,800 to fix that up there. So he said he'd be getting back with me, but he's not gotten back with me this week. So,
okay.
But he said it would still be under the $3,800.
Yeah, it's a bunch of riprap,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also the bigger thing is pulling up that bulkhead and receiving it. I'm assuming.
So I'll call Billy today and see where they're at.
Okay.
Or let Chris handle that. I'll get a hold of him.
Gravel, and is he going to do the gravel between the flagpoles? Was that approved?
That was, oh gosh, I'd have to look back at my notes with the Friends board. I know the Friends approved something. Oh gosh, too much going on. I think we were going to wait until spring to do that before Billy gets, but I think that the park board was going to talk about it at the park board meeting, and that's this Monday. So,
And last thing on my list, the town school signs for the girls basketball and state champs.
yeah, I've been working with Amtech, and I'm trying to get better because it took them a while to get back with me, and so I'm trying to get them a better resolution of our town logo.
Do we have any layout or design?
Well, we were doing, because you guys liked, and Matt and Toby liked it, where it was the town of Borden, like the one that we had, and then have the list, but then at the bottom have the 3 state champion things also.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on. But they didn't think that they could do it in a 5x10. They think that it would be better as a 10x10. But I was going to let them design it and come back to me on it.
Okay. So we'll get a rendering before we buy it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you always.
10 is going to be a, I mean, I'm against that. It's just going to be a big shit. It's going to be a big sale.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, if they want the states down at the bottom and, you know.
Right. Yeah, and it has to be legible, so it has to be big enough too, so it needs to be significant in size. Obviously, we need 2. And is Amtech going to install the sign? Or are you getting them to install it?
That's what I was going to, because the person we were going to have to install it, but, you know, not going to do that anymore. But I did ask them if, because Faith works at Lance, if she donated the product, if, you know, we could get it, because they buy through Lance all the time. So then if we could get that donated to them, then if that would help with the price, if they would allow us. So
Okay.
We're trying to knock down that price because it could be hefty.
Yeah, 10 by 10 sign is quite a size.
Mm-hmm.
You can just put electronic boards at each end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. $40,000 at each end.
You're about right. The only other thing is we received notice from Clark County yesterday about the subdivision. It's going to approval. It's going to approval on December 10th. Just have to see that email.
I saw it and didn't read it. Sorry.
So the main thing is they're going, the public hearing and possible approval December 10th. And I forwarded it to you guys, and also the statement back from Eric Wise, the county director of the Planning Commission, about just kind of the impact on the town is going to be, we're going to be responsible for those roads. Those will be town roads.
I did see that. Okay.
And so that'll be added to our inventory, so we'll be able to get money because it's in our mileage. But we're still overseeing that. I don't think that that's a deal breaker, but I just want to make sure we're talking around that. I think that we're all pretty excited about that. If there is a cost, because they're saying is if there is, of course, there's a road connection across Main Street, across Radius off Main Street, which we already knew that was coming. It looks like they're doing one instead of two. They talked about dropping another outlet down there, but it's like their homes in there. There's 61 homes.
61, yep.
Wow.
61 homes in there. And but the main thing is, it even talked about the road will most likely, normally a developer will build the road up to the last coat of asphalt and then post a bond and ensure completion. So I don't know if we've got monies that we have to pile in because it's ultimately our roads, if that's an expectation, so we will clarify that. So they're going to send us another, I'm assuming he's going to send us something else that basically says, or maybe this is it. I'm unsure, but I'm going to reach out to Eric and find out what action he needs from us. I mean, obviously we're accepting of the subdivision in partnership with Temple, but we need to understand what's our impact. And of course, we have no relationship with Radius, but they do about crossing it, so it's not on us, but it's just exiting off on our town street. So anyway, he is checking with Brian Dixon to learn out a little bit more about that. So I think it's an open conversation. But we know December 10th is a possible approval, but there at least is a hearing that can be suspended. But 61 homes, what it looks like on there, which is pretty exciting stuff for the town. He used every inch of it. There's one corner down by the creek. If you look at the plat, I don't know if you guys have taken time to look at that. There's one in the corner of the property down near the creek. There's a drainage area that's planned, which makes sense. I mean, they got to have a storm drain area, but I'm assuming they'll go into a retention area there and then overflow into the creek. Stormwater basin, yeah. Otherwise, he's using, he's naming it. I don't know if y'all saw that. The main road is called Strawberry Lane. And then there's one bit off of that. There's one cul-de-sac called Clover Court. So it's interesting. So Strawberry Lane. But anyway, so just want to be aware of that. Whatever I find from Eric, I'll share out with everybody. And go from there. Anything else?
Okay.
That's all I see. So, accept the motion to close the meeting.
I make a motion to close the meeting.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Affirmative vote. Meeting is